Popped us up in the very beginning. At
All right.
least the sound is up, right?
That's right.
And here goes you. Okay, we are just gonna kick off the show. I'm
There we
not gonna
go.
wait for the entire open. Hey, welcome to another edition of Modern Day Thrive. I am your host, Dean Baker, and to my left, as soon as he gets his laptop all situated,
Hello, hello.
is George Weber. We are also streaming not just to Facebook and YouTube. We are also streaming over to our Instagram audience
pals.
over there on the phone over there. So, how you doing, George? What's going on?
I'm doing fabulous.
Yeah,
Yes. I can't believe it's Thursday already, though.
I'm. Yeah, okay.
It's been a fast week, believe it or not. I don't usually my days drag, but this week I kind of feel that it went pretty quick.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like fast weeks.
Past weeks are. I don't know. I like it when a week just acts like a week. You know, I don't like
Just
it when
depends
they
on the
drag
content.
on. I don't like it when they go too fast. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm forgetting something, and I got to tell you, it's just kind of sometimes it's unnerving. You know, because I know like this weekend I've got a huge weekend. I've got projects, webcasts. I think we've got what 4 or 5 webcasts going on this
Yeah.
weekend. Some new stuff, some regular stuff, and man, it's just brutal.
But that's a good thing.
What I know the weekend has happened, what's happening in front of me,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it all kicks in, starts tomorrow at like 1 o'clock. So
But would you rather have the shoe on the other foot?
I'd rather have a shoe on each foot. Yeah. So all right. So, if you don't know us by now, we talk about things like debt survival.
Yes.
And I just started using that term today because everyone's talking about debt relief and debt this, debt this.
I
and
think it's a better word, actually.
so I kind of like looking at it and going, debt survival, because most people they're swimming, they're drowning in debt. And debt survival seems to be kind of a really good
Segue.
no, but it's a really good thought process.
Sure.
Because if you don't, it's a survival course in debt.
Yeah. Which you
So
don't learn in school.
That's part of it, and we're going to start the show off kind of talking about debt survival.
Mhm.
And then we're going to, in about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to jump into another segment, which is about side hustle. It's
Yes.
about small business. It's about multiple streams of income.
Love that word.
Yeah,
Love
multiple
that.
streams
Oh,
of
yeah.
income.
Love that
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Wish I'd learned that 20
Get
years
y'all
ago.
warm and fuzzy, huh? I think back then we're all just trying to figure out how to get one good stream of income.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's where it was.
The job.
Yeah, the job, get the job.
Just over broke.
And unfortunately that, doesn't always last forever.
No, it
And
doesn't.
We'll get into that, in about 20 minutes. So,
Sure.
And then we'll wrap up the show with some other interesting thoughts. So we'll get to that. But I'm going to jump over. I've got little place cards here set up. So let me see if I can find it here. All right. I want to make sure I
Please, guys,
pop up
feel
the
free to
right
jump
one.
in, comment,
Yes, and if you have any
share.
thoughts, let's go with that. First of all, please like, follow, and share this webcast. Um, and if you're catching us on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and comment in. We will see your comments as we are talking here. We'd love to have a conversation with you. If you have questions, jump in
Sure.
with a question
A
about
thought,
anything
whatever.
we're doing. If you want to promote your business,
Sure.
absolutely. Then we'll have questions for you.
Yeah.
So anything you want to do, talk about, other than maybe saying Baba Booey, but you know, hey, I just kind of feel proud about
Someone's
that. You
gonna
know, if I
do
got,
that
if
now.
I got slammed with it, you know, but that's okay. So
Come on, someone's got to write that now.
I know. So let's kind of go in. Also, if you have you want to call in live, and also if you know one of our friends and want to stream in live, I can send you the code right through the chat. So
Sure.
if you want to stream in live, we'd be happy to kind of have you on the show as well and participate in a live scenario.
Absolutely.
Get your webcam dusted off. Get the little block off the webcam, and so
You need to get your brother in here one of these days.
Yeah, well, he's 1,200 miles away. So
Yeah,
I don't know who's watching tonight. Do we have an idea of? Looks, can't really tell who's watching.
Yeah,
So
it just tells you the channels, but
yep.
that's
So
okay.
anyway, I'll leave the phone number up, and yet we're gonna jump right into it and talk about debt survival. Okay. Um, George, this is more your. Yeah, I've had some experience,
Sure.
but I haven't really been in the trenches and pulled myself out of the trenches.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you've kind of had a lot of experience, and because you've been trying to build these debt programs. You
Yeah, I
know,
actually that was my forte back. What was it? God, was it 5 years ago? Maybe even a little bit more.
more like 10. Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Might have been.
I wish
yeah.
you hadn't said that. I would have been okay with 6, but
So you know, we kind of put this together earlier, and it's about really knowing your budget.
oh,
That's where it
absolutely.
all starts,
It
because
does.
you know, everybody's situation is different. Oh, look at that. My brother said it's almost nap time. And really, you can't even manage to stay awake a little bit past 8 o'clock.
Not one Baba Booey.
No, that's okay. And Maria Chapman says, "It's me. Hi, Maria. How you doing?"
Thanks for joining.
Yes, thanks for joining us. So hopefully you get to be our you know, our test market on the format here. So
Sure.
anyways, I'm going to pull the phone number out for a little bit so we can kind of see knowing your budget.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's probably one of the most important starting points.
Right.
If you do not know your budget, you're going to likely be overspending. And overspending only leads to everything, we're talking about being in the bad light, because, you can't control what's going on if you don't know your budget.
I talked to somebody recently who started a side business, and he was doing these live events.
Okay.
And we're talking about it because, you know, he sells tickets, and he makes, you know, and I'm going, all right, so have you kind of figured out if you made any money?
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, I got to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say names. So let's not say names. I don't want to embarrass the person, you know. But it was interesting to me because, you know, I was like, everything I do here in business, everything I do here in business, it's about knowing what it costs.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that's a business, but still at home, you know, and it could be as simple as getting some lined paper and going,
yeah, right.
What's my mortgage cost?
Yeah.
Or my rent.
Sure.
And then you go down the hard costs.
Go down the line. How many cars?
How many
credit
cards? Insurance. Your cable, your phone, your electric bill.
You really can't leave anything out.
No.
Even what you spend, I go to 7-Eleven every morning. I buy coffee.
And the discretionary funds,
sure.
you know.
That adds up.
So what do you do with that?
As
Knowing your budget.
well, so some people just very simply track it on paper. Some people write it down. Some people use Excel. There's probably even websites you can
Mhm.
go to. There used to be back in the day. I think it was called Money. Actually, it was a Microsoft product.
Microsoft, I loved
I think
Microsoft Money.
I think it's out there still. You can
Yeah,
still get to you.
I loved it because
It was. You can do
it
graphs,
automatically
all kinds of
tracked all
stuff.
my
Sure.
my checking accounts.
Yeah, you can attach it to your accounts, and
And it was just great. And then of course I had to jump ship and go to a spreadsheet,
yeah, yeah.
and there are other programs out there that can,
I'll bring one next week. I got to remember what it is because I don't use it religiously,
okay,
but I have all my accounts set up in it. But periodically it breaks. You got to go in and fix them.
right,
It's kind of annoying,
right.
but it does similar things. It looks at your daily spending and it keeps track of as it goes up and goes down, and it actually gives you like your net worth, which I think is important.
I'm
You
just
know,
saying that for those that aren't on a computer and know how to do a spreadsheet,
piece of paper.
a piece of
Sure.
paper, a lined piece of paper, go to the store, buy a what is it?
A whiteboard.
A ledger.
Ledger, a whiteboard.
You can buy ledger paper, and
Sure.
it's got all the columns, and you've got your what income line,
Yeah.
and then your
Sure.
expenses line, and
Income
of
and
course,
expenses, and
and hopefully
if you're lucky,
this is checkbook balancing 101. Your income's got to be a bigger number
yeah,
than your expenses, or
yes,
else what?
disaster,
You know,
basically.
or else no. Let's just talk about or else what.
Yeah,
You still have to pay a bill, and you
yeah,
got no money left. So
yeah.
where does it wind up heading?
Generally credit cards.
Credit cards. So you
Yeah.
start living off your credit
Yeah,
cards.
which means you just increase your expenses
Right.
weekly or monthly, depending.
Which is, sometimes living off credit cards is the next line here.
Oh, definitely. Identifying poor spending habits.
Identify poor spending habits. Oh my God, maybe that cup of coffee isn't in your
Budget.
is in your budget. You
Yeah.
go, you buy the $10 coffee maker and the big chock full of nuts can of coffee, and you bear down.
I tell you what, the biggest thing that plays into the poor spending habits, and we do it not even realizing it because of credit cards,
Right.
is you're really living off of future income
Yeah.
because you're just continually paying for stuff. So you may seem like you made it through the month great because of that credit card, but technically you may be way over your income.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense anymore.
And of course you go, well, I can just put it on a credit
Oh
card.
yeah, I'm good, right?
And then I don't have to actually pay it off. I
Yeah.
just make the minimum payment, which is probably what, 10% of what I actually owe them.
It could be $35, could be 25.
Yeah.
It could be higher.
Put $1,000 on a credit card eventually, and your minimum payment might be $50 a month.
Yeah.
And is that paying for anything?
Yeah, look at your statement, and
Yeah.
there's going to be a section in there
Yeah.
that says, "Hey, if you keep paying it this way, it's going to cost you X amount of dollars." Knowing that true cost is very important.
So what else is there in poor spending habits?
Oh, God, I mean, poor spending habits. I see that as you're buying stuff you want, but you really don't need it.
Okay.
That really that to me fits poor spending habits, and it could be something silly like I mean, we all have to eat, but we don't have to all eat out expensive all the time. That's
Right.
I see that as a poor
yeah.
spending habit. It's also a lifestyle, but can you afford it?
There are sometimes, I mean, it depends on where you live too. If you're in New York City, you're eating out almost all the time.
Yeah,
If you're,
they do have grocery stores, don't they?
but then you have to drag it up flights of stairs and across the city on the subway.
And your electricity is probably really
it's not
expensive.
like you have a car to load
That's
up
true.
the trunk
That's true.
with groceries.
Unless you live in the upstate, I guess.
I suppose you can have groceries delivered, but
that's probably a big thing in New York, I would assume.
Probably is a big thing.
Yeah.
So let's see. I've heard a couple more things. We've got this Leche Diaz. I'm great to have you here.
Well,
you
hello.
guys know any free apps that people should use? Yes, we do. We absolutely do. Hang with us on that. We're going to get to that. Okay. But thanks for chiming in. Yes, we see it. we'll talk about that in a moment. And Maria says Prism is a budget bill paying app. Have you ever used Prism?
I have not actually, but is it free?
That would
Because
be the question, Maria.
I
Is
like
it free?
free. I do. I don't mind spending money on something,
That
but again, we're talking about
that's one of our Thrivers quotes. If it's
yeah,
free, it's for
if it's
me.
free, it's
But
for me.
I can let's see if
And
I
actually,
can see if I
Leches,
can look at
if you could, are you referring to apps as far as
Prism
tracking your
bill
debts?
pay
If you could clarify that, because I believe that's
manager.
what you're looking for.
Well, that jumps into it, but Prism bills, prismmoney.com. I'm thinking it might be prismmoney.com.
No,
Uh,
click on it. Let's see what it is.
and
Manager bills,
I
free
might have to do a
download.
screen share. It says free download, but
The
that's
free download does not mean
know,
free normally. Sometimes it means
yeah.
you download it and it goes, well, if you like this after 7
Never.
days,
All right. So
give me some money.
Prism, we're gonna take a look at that and maybe
If it's free, I
come
will
back.
check it out.
Oh, she says yes,
I
free.
like that. All right.
Yes, free. So yeah, she's she's never told me she's using something free that I can
I don't
use.
understand.
Anyway,
But thank you for telling
I'm
us.
wondering, I'm hoping you can actually import your
Like
what
your
am I
banking
saying?
info?
Your banking. If you can download all your banking info right
Sure.
into it, that would be that's what money used to do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great for that.
You go in there and put your account information.
and all of a sudden, and
Yeah.
you don't have to the days of balancing your checkbook,
Yeah.
that doesn't even exist anymore.
Sure.
But based on what you're, most people don't even have to balance. They just constantly look online at their statement and go, yeah,
Yeah.
I still got money,
Well,
and nobody write checks
most people
anymore.
don't
Yeah.
balance. They don't.
Well, it's just because there's the idea with a transaction from your debit card
Yeah.
hits your account almost immediately.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a check floating around out there.
No, yeah. You're
I
not having
might
to wait 2
write
weeks.
I might write one check a month,
Yeah, I don't even do that.
and and that's it. I
Maybe
do
once a
have a
year.
checkbook. I haven't refilled my checkbook, and I haven't reordered checks in 10 years.
Someone
I'm
asked
still
me
working
for
off the
checks.
same
I go,
thing.
seriously, dude?
Right.
Nobody uses checks anymore.
So
I had someone use a fax machine the other day. I was a little astonished on that one too. I'm like, what? Debt? Okay. Well, I mean, the one that she just told us, Prism, looks like a good one.
yeah, that sounds great.
We haven't personally used it, but I mean, it looks kind of slick. And to be honest, I may try it out because I'm always looking for stuff like that keeps good track of that, because it really does help.
Anything better than trying to figure out Excel if you're not like a whiz at Excel.
Yeah, Excel's very
complicated,
yeah,
time consuming.
It's time consuming, and if you really want to do anything other than just display a number, then you
Right.
got to Google how to figure out how to
Right.
do a formula, and I don't even like doing that. And I'm technical.
So we're burning up the night. We're only 2 things down here. Stop the bleeding, getting control.
Oh my, that's so. I can speak to that personally because recently I just refinanced my house.
Yeah.
And generally, refinancing is not a good idea. But I was on a variable mortgage interest,
Right,
which was
means
only at 4%, but it could have gone higher.
Oh yeah, and I was on that
Mhm.
years ago when I first got my mortgage, because I got one of those bad Fannie Mae mortgages
Yeah.
that they made movies about,
Yeah.
and the economy crashed.
I was still in one of those.
and people were, so I had that 5-year interest, and
Yeah.
and for 5 years it was locked in at a good interest, and
Yeah. Boom.
then what happened,
Yeah.
and then of course, the economy's dropping, the bubble burst, and now all of a sudden, in 6 months, my mortgage goes up $100. So, what?
Take that off so they can see us.
Oh, okay. So
we can still talk about it.
Yep. Anyway, sorry.
No,
Anyway,
just looks better.
I'm trying to stay on the content.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
A lot of banks also provide budgeting tools for their customers. So,
I haven't really seen anything with my bank, to be honest. It's probably there, but I haven't dug deep enough, maybe. But
most of the time it's just, I don't know.
something that helps
the
them.
bank that I use. Yeah, I've been with the same bank for years, and it's hard enough getting the content off my statement into an Excel spreadsheet. It's almost impossible.
Sure. Yeah.
And it takes more time to do that than I don't know. So
But yeah,
yeah,
so stopping the bleeding is so important, and really, it doesn't just start with a mortgage. It could be your credit cards, and again, recently, I took a credit card that I was probably 23%. I'm not even 100% sure, and I transferred all that balance to a 0% card.
when we mean bleeding, it means your debt is increasing and your
Yes.
income isn't covering your debt. That's what we mean by bleeding, right?
Well, that and the fact that you're making this payment and a big chunk of it's going away. It's
Wait,
not really
waste
it's not applying where
the
it should
the
be, so it takes forever.
the bad spending
Yeah.
habits,
Yeah.
the and there's just money going in the wrong places.
Sure. The only debt that you can actually consider to be potentially good is if it's providing you income back. But it has to be providing you more, let's say you're renting a
Gotta
house.
come.
Different
It's back
story,
to that
but
whole. It's got to give you
yeah,
more than it's
it's got to
taking.
give you more than it's taken.
But at the end of the month, if you're having to pay things with a credit card,
Yeah.
you're bleeding.
Yes.
You are bleeding, and sometimes you can stop some of that just by going back and looking at your spending habits
Oh,
and
sure.
going, yeah, okay, maybe I only need one car instead of three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I don't need those extra cell phones. Maybe I don't need the NFL sports package. Oop,
Yeah.
oh my God, I said something probably
I
crazy.
like it, but can you really afford it?
Maybe my cable bill is pushing $200 a month.
Yeah.
And nobody's really watching TV bombarded with commercials,
That adds up quick.
cutting the cable, all those things that you can go, well, it's not bleeding, but your income might have changed and you have to adapt to it.
Sure.
So
Has to come from somewhere.
stopping the bleeding is just, hey, if this isn't, we had to all do it this past year when a lot of people were not working, and they go, okay, things are going to start shutting off.
Yeah.
Unless I shut them off first. If I stop paying people, then before you know it, the electric goes off and the water bill gets shut off and all these things. So
sure,
you gotta stop the bleeding. You
can't recover if you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to be an endless cycle of, taking the shovel and digging in the sand and figured out why I'm up to my knees now.
Absolutely. So, and debt payment, of course, you eventually have to pay it.
Yeah.
You can
rather
choose
sooner than later.
You can choose. I mean, if you're deep in something, you can bank. There's a lot of people that go through bankruptcies and to get rid of just this overwhelming debt. Yeah. But you pretty much, to do that, you
pay for it.
You have to have a limited amount of assets. You can't be sitting on a mountain of gold.
No, yeah.
And decide I'm going to bankrupt so I don't have to pay off the people that I owe money to.
They will know.
You can't just you can't have assets, and if you do a bankruptcy, oh man, you're inviting a judge.
Yes.
You're inviting a bunch of people into your financial situation.
They want to know your business.
And you are opening up the doors and say, here, come on in and take a look around.
Yeah. What do you want?
Come on in and take a look around. So, most people attempt usually at first to just start paying off their debt to take care of it.
Sometimes it's overwhelming though.
Sometimes it doesn't happen. So creating a debt payment plan, describe to me how that goes about.
That could be multi-tier. It really depends on where you're at. For someone that's like living paycheck to paycheck, it may be a little different. For someone that's maybe doing okay, has a little bit of extra discretionary income, without the need to boost your income,
right?
Which we always recommend trying to do,
right?
Either through your primary income or by adding a secondary income. Not the funnest thing in the world, especially long term. I've been doing it for years.
So we got another question.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Do you guys agree that when it comes to a budget and you happen to be in a marriage, you should be able to talk about it, and it's very important to know your debt?
Absolutely.
That's the partnership, because if one person works and the other person maybe stays home, takes care of the kids, everybody needs to be on the same page.
Sure.
Because if somebody's out there, and I've been in situations like this in the past, where I've had somebody at home and they are just get a little crazy on the debt, and then it
not on purpose usually, but yeah.
But it involves strife in
Yeah.
the relationship,
Sure.
you know,
Sure.
if somebody doesn't really understand, and then it can
Good question, by the way.
turn very,
Yeah.
there can be a lot of animosity, you
Creates a
know,
lot of
on,
stress, a lot of button
you
heads.
know, animosity if one person just doesn't even want to bother explaining it to the other person why they're so upset,
Sure.
and it's because of the money. It's
Yeah.
that's what is that, the most,
Probably the number one killer of
the
marriages.
well, but the number one, almost the number one cause of an argument
Yeah.
at home
Sure.
is usually money.
Sure.
So you have to understand, and I think it's not just, it shouldn't be all on the breadwinner. The person who brings in the money shouldn't be the one having to pay the bills.
Well, even if you are, if you can both get on the same page,
Yeah.
that's
It's
multi-important
got to be,
comparative
because
to.
nobody can say, yeah, I just kind of had to buy something. I
Yeah.
had to go shopping.
Yeah.
I wanted something pretty, or I wanted something. I
Mm.
wanted that new scooter that I've been looking
Yeah.
at, and oh my God, how are we going to eat this month? So yeah, I think
Well,
that's incredibly important.
Eating can be included, because you go, it's like, oh man, I just spent $500. I got everything was on sale, and I'm like, oh, what? Say what?
I feel like eating good this week. Let's go on a cruise.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredibly important. Everyone's got to understand, because there are sometimes in a relationship that one of the two people can let things get a little haywire.
Sure.
And I'm not saying it's a he or a she. I'm just saying it's
That can go.
there's usually somebody that's spending money that the other one doesn't really know about.
Yeah.
And it could just be about,
It could
man,
go
you're
both
getting
ways.
3 Starbucks
Yeah.
coffees a day, 20
Sure.
bucks a day times 20 days a month. That's $400. That's $400 a month you're spending. Or you go out to eat 3, 4, 5 nights a week, and I've done the math. It
adds
gets
up.
a little
Well,
crazy.
I mean, if you have a family, in a lot of cases, and I can speak to this firsthand, you have situations where, I know I'm probably going to have to put something on credit card, and I really don't want to, but you know what? You want to keep everybody a little happy as well.
Absolutely.
So you do stuff like that sometimes that really, I mean, you're going to pay for it later.
Okay,
And
we
I've
have
done that
other
for
things.
years.
We have other things on this list, but we're going to get back into creating a debt payment plan. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
we really hit that subject.
No.
Kind of step back in the budgeting, and that's great. We want to do that, and we're going to probably attack more of debt survival in the next week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
create some more examples. I think that'll help it.
We are jumping to, what are we jumping into? George's favorite.
I love
Multiple streams of income. Let's just go down the list here. Dividend income, kind of like life insurance, stocks, crypto.
Sure. We have bonds, a little bit of everything.
Real estate investment can be, or rental properties.
Also, they have
I don't know, just
some stocks that are even based on real estate.
And then we have obviously direct income, which is more
primary job.
Could be primary job, or it could be selling plasma. It could be focus group studies, part-time jobs, side hustles, micro business, all of that. And then, while you're dealing with all these things, trying to figure out where your income where you want your income to come from.
Yeah.
You have to ask that big question: is your current job working for you? Is it just you're working for your job, or is your job?
Usually, if you're doing all the above stuff, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
If you're really
you
looking
don't like it.
So let's look at dividend income.
Sure.
I mean, I started this process about 7-8 months ago. When I bought a whole life insurance policy.
Yeah. And I've had one even prior to you getting one.
Yep.
And I tell you, it really.
Thank you for your comment.
Yes, appreciate that. Thank you.
That's absolutely. We love to hear that stuff.
Definitely. So, my life insurance, I've had mine longer than yours.
Okay.
And it's a high cash value whole life insurance policy. The benefits for it is it's just generating cash. That I can borrow against.
Yes.
Very cheap.
Yes.
So in mine, I think I have a loan out on it right now. It's around $4,000. By the time I pay it back, it'll probably be worth 6 to 7. In 10 years, that policy is going to be worth $33,000 of cash value. I can borrow it and invest somewhere if I would like to do so.
So yeah. So
I find that like
No, I say
It's
that
cream of the
because,
crop.
before when you and I were younger kids,
Yeah.
growing up, parents says, yeah, start a savings
Yeah.
account,
Get a
or,
job,
get a job, put
pension.
put
What's that?
what 15% of your income into a
Yeah.
savings account that's
Sure.
going to accrue interest, and that interest will accrue interest, and 20, 30, 40 years later,
To be fair, though,
you're going to have more
it
money.
may have been 9% interest when they were saying that.
When they were saying that, interest was not
Yeah.
where it is now.
Yeah.
Now,
It's not on the map.
now with a microscope,
Yeah.
I think now interest is at a cellular level.
Oh,
You cannot even see it with a microscope, or so my thought process is what we were learned as kids doesn't apply now.
no.
Savings
does not.
accounts, all banks are, even checking accounts, people don't write checks, so they have an account that money goes into, that they can utilize with their debit card,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they can buy things, and it just goes swipe,
Yeah,
swipe,
sure.
gone. And sometimes the banks charge you to do that. They
Yeah.
take money out of your own pocket to do that.
Sure.
So
Times millions of
banks
people is a
are
lot of money.
not giving you any value for your dollars.
No.
If
They're
anything,
certainly making money
they're
off of it.
siphoning money
Yeah.
off of that. So
Oh yeah, times millions of people, a little siphon is a lot of money.
absolutely.
So they're very good at making money, and
and
your money actually. Sorry.
I see another comment here. The 20s. I'm guessing the 1920s.
Oh, I was
when
about
there
to
was
say,
actually,
I'm trying to figure that one out.
I will actually kind of maybe think that, yeah, maybe it was back in the 1920s that you were actually getting interest off of a savings account.
Well, it is true.
Yes,
that
she says.
if you
Okay.
have
I like this girl.
I do too.
Yes.
If you have a decent account that is paying you interest,
Right.
but compound interest takes years to do what it's actually going to do and ramp up
Right.
to the part where it's benefiting from you.
Right.
You really can't use a compound interest scenario for short-term gains.
Right.
You can use it for a little bit of safety. You should have a savings account that has very liquid money in it to cover you. So let's say you have $1,000 in there, which is a good number.
Right.
Your tire goes bad on your car.
Right.
That's what you should use that money for.
Right.
So you don't put it on the credit card and you don't empty your bank account, which you're paying your bills with. So definitely a good thing, but don't use it as considering it as part of your wealth strategy or multiple streams of income, because it's really not. It's just safe haven.
So life insurance, why I got that is obviously you kind of talked to me about it, but also because
I'm all about life insurance.
I went with a reputable company, New York Life.
Sure.
And I bought a whole life insurance policy, and that money that's going in after so much time will earn me 5%.
Yeah, which
interest
right now is really good
as a dividend, and I believe it's also tax deductible.
It's also tax free.
Tax free.
It's tax free.
That's what I meant.
Yeah,
tax free.
Yeah.
So
how can you beat that?
So how is that? I mean, that sounds like a perfect situation. And and before I thought of this, it was like a lot of people saying, "Oh, you want me to buy life insurance?"
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
But I got to tell you, you get a little older, you go, I am gonna die. That's gonna be. But if you're in your 20s and you've got money going somewhere, you probably should throw it in a life insurance policy.
I wish I had.
Because now, here's the thing: when I've got all this money in this life insurance policy, it's collecting 5% interest, and then maybe I need a loan. I can get a simple interest loan against my life insurance
your own
policy.
Money, pay yourself back.
It's my own money that I can pay myself back, or I can choose not to pay myself back.
Yeah.
No one's going to repossess me,
That's a whole different, yeah.
But yeah, it gets a little crazy, but I'm trying to find a downside to this.
Yeah.
And if I expire a little early,
I don't like talking about that part of it, but it's there.
There is a death benefit that goes to people that I care about,
Yeah.
that's left behind. So, I can use the money. It's not buried. It's not locked away completely. I can use the money for the next 20, 30 years.
Sure.
And then when I expire,
I
hopefully leave some left behind. I haven't taken it all out.
And the beautiful thing is,
yeah,
they get it tax free.
and they get it tax free.
It's not like you have money in, like, say you had it in a bank account and you have a will.
Another neat little tidbit on a life insurance, a whole life insurance. If someone were to sue you,
Yeah, it's protected.
they can't touch that.
Yep.
You can hide a lot of money or protect. Let's just say protect a lot of money.
You're not hiding
You
it.
could protect a lot of money in a life insurance policy.
Yeah.
You could access it, take loans against it.
Sure.
You could do anything you wanted to do with that. And if you ever got sued, if you didn't back up into your neighbor's, lawnmower or something like that, and they got hurt and they wanted to sue you, of course, that might be homeowners insurance, but you never know what people will sue each other for. And then they cannot touch that money. Yeah. That money is solid. It is
even if you got into a health situation, they can't touch it either.
Right.
You can choose to use it, but they can't touch it.
Absolutely.
They can't quarantine it and go, yeah, we know you got some money over here and we want this money.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So I'm looking at, and go back to the list here real quick. I just came off it, but
sure.
All right. So let's get off life insurance.
Yeah.
Stocks to me, my brother's into some penny stocks, and he's made some pretty good money, but it's all still pretty volatile.
It can be, but I tell you, I stopped building my portfolio, and now I'm letting the dividends that are coming back rebuild my portfolio. Like they come back, I don't reinvest them. I decide where it's going to go.
Right.
I'm getting about $20 a month. Okay. It's growing.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. But realistically, stocks, if you wanted something, there's people that build these stock portfolios that are so big, they're getting 10 grand a month.
Right.
Well, how much money you got in there is a whole different story.
Well,
so not that it's a bad play. It's just, you got to have we're talking about someone that's just built the budget. They're not at that point.
I think my brother would be chatting right now, but I think he's asleep on the couch right now. So I don't think he's listening, because he'd be talking about, you got to get into this.
Yeah.
And, and I did this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm like, great. He didn't tell me, the windfall beforehand.
Yeah.
He didn't say, hey, this is going to make big money. He left me out of it, so he
maybe next
time.
time.
But stocks, I'm a little skittish of stocks. And then of course there's crypto.
Oh yes.
And
I'm a big fan of crypto.
I picked a couple of cryptos that I actually receive a dividend.
Mm-hmm.
Algorand was one of them.
Yeah.
Of course, it started out at 6%. Now it's 5%.
It's 4% now.
4. Oh,
yeah,
crap.
it's 4.
But
4% is still not bad.
4% is better,
and it's daily.
Yeah, and get daily income based on putting money in a bank, a crypto, whatever.
Yeah,
a wallet, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and that's collecting 4%. A bank that's been around over 150 years, they can't offer you interest, but yet crypto that's been around for less than 2 in some cases are offering a 4%.
I would imagine
and on top of that,
borrowing from crypto today than they're potentially borrowing from banks, because you can stake your own crypto against it.
I'd be worried about that. If I were in the banking world.
Oh yeah.
They're not worried, because all the billionaires out there are just kind of controlling the banks, and they're I'm sure it's
still
pennies,
lots of money in there.
But now this new generation, especially the younger people, are buying stocks. They're buying Apple. They're buying Tesla. They're buying, they're buying all the new technology, Amazon, and then they're buying crypto and Bitcoin and this, that, and the other. And then they're watching their money grow. And this is incredible. It's listening, watching 20-year-olds talking about crypto. Like, I'm like, I wasn't, I was more worried about, where I was going to go out drinking that weekend, and not worried about where my money's going. And
you gotta have the stomach for it to be able to just not watch it all the time and kind of just let it do its thing, and then at some point in time take advantage of it when it does get to that. But no, don't do it.
Okay, you said it. And
Algorand still at 86.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's up a little bit, because it was like 78 or 79 like a week ago. I have
not looked.
I have not looked in. Hang on, here we are. I have not looked.
We're gonna do a quick glance because we have a lot of stuff to get
I
through.
have to look real quick. this is, you know, this
We must
is
not
our
have done this all
thing.
day. So
I have not looked at Coinbase in almost a week, probably since a week ago.
I look at it every morning, but I look at it for about 30 to 45 seconds and just to click on
Hey,
it to see how much interest I got.
Bitcoin's up to 40 grand.
Yes, actually,
That
it's been
is
holding nice. It's
impressive.
been holding nice. And I see it probably holding at a point where it's probably going to push higher.
It
may still take a couple
we may
months,
be on
but-
the uptick now again.
yeah.
Doge is at 21 cents,
Yeah.
which, you know,
It's about up a penny for a day. It was 20 earlier.
but a week ago it was at like 17 cents, I
Yep.
believe, much like Cardano was at $1.17, I think.
Yeah,
And that's up 12 cents in a week.
sure.
That's actually very impressive. And my friends over, where is it? It's always in page 2 when I start looking here.
You should probably create a portfolio list so you can just go right to
Algorand 85.
There you go.
I like the direction that's going,
Sure.
you know, because and it'll show me like in a week ago, it was at 79, jumped up to 89. Oh, it jumped up to 92
Oh, wow,
a few
I
days
missed that. I
ago.
did not even see that.
And then it
I wouldn't have sold
settled
there,
at
though.
85, wherever. So
Gets at $1.50.
you
I'll
can't see
probably
this.
sell
I'm
it.
not sharing the screen, but we're just kind of go with us on this one. You know, so crypto, and you know what? Remember I said August it's going to go up.
I hope so.
You know, it's my prediction, and
I
that's the
hope
only
so.
one I'll make because you know because I actually shouldn't. I should shut up and you know, if I say it out loud too much, it's going to do the opposite. So
So what else we got over there?
so multiple streams, right? That's what we're working in.
Yes.
So let's talk about the direct income. We both have had experience with selling plasma.
Yes, I do it every week actually.
And you've
twice a week.
You've been doing it for so I'll put an interesting story. A friend of mine lost a job a couple of years ago, and of course, right during the pandemic, year and a half ago, and been living off the, you know, unemployment for a while.
Sure.
And now I'm seeing posts. I'm seeing his posts, and I'm going looking for work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well. You're not going to like what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say is you can probably make more money working at Wawa or McDonald's right now.
Yeah.
And it's going to suck, you know, but it's where the work is.
Yes.
You know, because these guys are trying
and they're hiring left and right.
And they're hiring left and right. They're giving incentives. But still, you're just not going to like that thought.
Sure.
Your job is gone.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and chances are, if you're my age and had the same job for 20 years, you are making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then your employer said, we can find somebody cheaper.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's been happening. That's not a new game. It just means that companies look at, you know, how much they're paying
Cost of doing business.
and decide whether or not they can hire someone to do it cheaper
Sure,
than they're paying you. So
increases their bottom, you know, their top line or bottom
I'm
line.
in business. I get railroaded too. You know, I do work for companies, and then they go,
keeps threatening to get rid of me.
I think we can Craigslist this out. And
Oh,
I
yeah?
will use it. You know, I mean, companies that hire me to do stuff for them, they go, you know, let's kind of find some kid on Craigslist or something like that to do our work for us.
It's kind of like rolling dice, but
yeah, right. And unfortunately, so the direct income, this stuff exists so that you could find some. We call these side hustles too.
Sure.
You know, it's.
I mean, I make good money with plasma. It's about almost $500 a month.
I did it for a couple of weeks, and then they butchered my veins, and
got the luck of the draw on that one.
My veins are not, you know, adaptive to sticking needles in it twice a week.
I've been lucky.
So plasma, and then of course Jade, when she was coming in, was bringing us reports on focus group studies. And
actually, she got me a job doing one. It was it was a very easy gig. It was a Saturday. I was there maybe 2.5 hours, because
Right.
they and they set you up beforehand while you're waiting because they do multiple ones usually.
Right.
They got food for you. I mean, it's usually snacks like a little bit of fruit platters.
Right.
Sometimes the muffins and stuff, drinks.
So you look for
$200, I think.
Yeah. So the
I think that's
plasma
what I got.
thing, it works good.
Sure.
You go in, you walk away with a
A card.
little debit card,
Mhm.
and you can spend your money that afternoon.
Yeah, right the wall in.
Other things like what was on our list?
I actually pay bills with it and make so much from it.
Right. So okay, so the plasma is one thing, and you can get instant money. We're talking maybe $100 to $200 a week.
It depends on what specials they're running.
Yeah.
Like normally it's supposed to be 90 a
Yeah.
week, but towards the end of the month they start tacking on, "Hey, we're going to throw you an extra 75." Last week
Yeah.
I had $211 from 1 week on that card, and normally it's 90.
That's great.
I'm not
That's
complaining one bit.
So, but if you're holding out for that job that you're hoping to get, the
Yeah.
best job ever, you do need to slow your absolute panic.
Yeah.
And any way you can do that to make some instant cash
Sure.
is the best way. A lot of people do it through Uber. They
Yeah.
just drive for Uber because
Sure.
I can make money. I can go out and make money. If I go out and work tonight, I can go make money.
Yeah.
So Uber can do that, can pay you instantly. You don't have to go in and wait 2 weeks, and maybe I don't really know.
I'm not sure how they get paid.
But I think it's all
Because it comes off of a card. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to have money on the card in order to do it. I believe.
I think
but
you
I've
get
never used
I
it.
think you get paid based on the amount of work you're pulling down. It
Okay.
might take a day
Yeah,
to get,
sure.
but
For it to finalize,
instant. The downside to Uber is you got to have a really nice car,
Yes.
fairly new.
Yeah.
And to have a fairly new car and be kind of unemployed, you're
Yeah.
going to beat up your car, which
Yeah.
means,
Yeah.
so there is a kind of a tricky
Could be a
area with
downside there.
Uber. Uber might be a better situation for if you already have a job and then you have a lot of downtime and you just want to drive around. And
Okay, because it can be any time of night.
yeah,
You can literally go sit at the
20
airport.
24
midnight
hours
when
a
they're
day.
coming in, and you could be making some good money at that point.
So
Actually, remember, I started looking at another opportunity last week. I'm actually going to look into,
which
is the mortgage signing notary.
okay.
From what I understand, it could be
be
anywhere from 80 to maybe 150, maybe even a little higher,
right
per signing. And realistically, if every ducks are in a row, you're talking about in the home,
right
maybe a half an hour at the max.
Okay, well, we've hit our maximum about multiple streams of income, and we will talk more about that next week.
Yeah, these are going to all expand into the next week. We're trying to give
yes,
everyone a little bit of time. So,
and I mean,
the buzzer went off.
telling you, here's the thing about what you just said about the side, the starting these other side hustles. Me telling you should do this is like me telling you what size shoes you should wear.
Yeah,
it won't fit for you.
That's true.
I could say, George, you should be 8.5 men's, and you go, not since I was 10.
Yeah, nope, that won't fit.
And I'm like, but so me telling you what kind of side hustle you should do is about as ridiculous as me telling you what size shoe to wear.
Well, because it never should be about, well, I can do this. I mean, if you're in a pinch,
a
side hustle that pays you is okay.
Ideas, but it's really got to be up to that person.
Sure. If you're not into it, it won't last.
Yeah.
You won't like it. You won't do it well. You probably won't reap the benefits.
Right. So, and again, we can talk about side hustle ideas. People can bring that to us and go, "Ooh, I did this," and "Ooh, I did that."
Yeah. Anyone knows about anything that we haven't mentioned? Please put it in the chat.
Yep.
We'll add it into a future segment and we'll talk about it more.
Absolutely. And things that people might never have heard of, and all of a sudden, and unfortunately,
any more chats?
Well, no, she asked about a specific, there was a comment we were talking about, and I just wanted to make sure any free apps that people should use.
Well, Prism was what we were talking about.
We were talking about that.
We haven't vetted it, but it looks like.
Oh, so she was talking about budgeting apps.
Yeah, okay. I think that's kind of.
There's a lot of apps, and some apps have cash value for shopping. So you could go buy gas through an app and save money.
Even my
that
credit
you
card is
can-
saying, "Hey, we have."
You take pictures of your
Yeah.
receipts and save money. So there's a lot of apps. So
Oh, sure.
when she asked about apps, I was kind of like, so it's a budgeting app she was asking about.
Yeah.
So that would be,
Which I think Prism covers.
I do apologize. I think I missed the point of your question there.
No, I think we clarified it. I asked, and
Maria mentioned, I hear the soap business is great.
here we go again.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. My soap partner there.
Where's
where's
the ding?
I
Ding.
I think she's did a hostile takeover of the soap business. So I think I've been outed as CEO of Soap Central. I think so. I'm not sure. I'll have to kind of check it later.
Yeah.
We don't need to drag out any more bad info on this show.
It was a good idea. It really is.
Business, the soap business. It's still there. Anyway, so we're jumping ship.
Anything that's put in the bucket can
we're
always
going
come
to-
out.
We're
so
going
you
to
just
wash.
never know.
Oh, my brother's awake again. Maybe it's time to hint. Oh yeah, he's saying, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, maybe. All right, so we're gonna jump off the side hustles and we're gonna jump right into. I like this topic the best because it involves everything else. And
if you do everything before it,
yeah,
this does become the meat and of your future.
Yeah, I mean, if you do all the other stuff and living the lifestyle you want is important. It's more important than anything. It's more important than a specific job, than a specific app on your phone. It's living the lifestyle you want. I use a lot of the term work smart, not hard. You still work hard when you enjoy it.
Oh, sure.
But you just don't notice that, you go, why am I so tired? Why did I
It's
go
not
home?
a drag on
Why
you.
did I go home last night, sit down for 2 minutes and pass out just because, I've been working hard. But, when you enjoy
play a game
it,
tonight? Yeah, sure. When I get home, I'm
when
like,
you
where'd
enjoy,
Gene go?
When you enjoy the work you do, it's not work anymore.
No.
So
it's one hell of a chore.
And if you've got 3 or 4 part-time jobs and you're going from job to job and losing your mind and your hair and your, and all that stuff, then it's not enjoyment, and life should be about enjoyment first.
I am aiming to change
enjoy
all that.
Your family, your significant other, your pets, all these things you should have enjoyment for. And then, but man, if you could have, if you could just kind of, you work hard for a little bit and you figure things out in all the other areas of your life, and then you're getting to the point where you're living the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want. Make it, and figure out a way to
decide
that now.
Yeah.
Because but it's about the lifestyle you want now. You can't say, oh, I'm going to go work really hard, work 80 hours a week. And then when I'm 80, I'll be dead.
Yeah.
Or I'll have my cabin in the woods. I'll go fishing. I'll go hunting. I will whatever, but I'm going to work. But life is really what happens when you're busy making those plans, and life changes like that. You lose your job. Something happens. The roof falls in. All these things happen, and it throws a monkey wrench into everything else in here. So, start first. If you're going to pick a side hustle,
start early.
I'm jumping back. Pick a small business, pick a side hustle. If you're going to pick any of those things, pick something you actually enjoy doing.
Sure.
If you go, boy, I really love to cook. I love to make cookies.
Oh.
Then make the best damn cookies and then start a side hustle. And then if they're good
Flea
and
market, here
other
you come.
people think they're good, you are not going to have trouble selling cookies.
If you make a big chocolate chip cookie, I don't care where you show up.
If you ever go to a farmer's market and see that little mini donut machine spitting out.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's not 5 to 10 people constantly at that
wrong.
donut stand, there's something wrong. So
Yeah.
but the other thing is if you really like donuts, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you shouldn't.
There's something about hot donuts, man. It's just like they come out warm.
So
they melt in your mouth.
I mean, really, it's kind of that thing. You should enjoy what you're doing choose something that, whatever. Here's what you're doing. If it's a side hustle, you are you are buying time. You're giving up your time for more money.
Yeah.
So whatever, if you have a full-time job and then you go, I need a side hustle, guess what?
You got
That
two
side
jobs.
hustle is taking up some time,
Yeah.
and you've decided I'm going to give time for money. As a like passive streams of income,
Yeah, sure.
you're technically not giving time,
Correct.
but you might be getting less money. So
True.
the goal is to try and figure out where you want to be. Do you just not want to work and let it rain cash? Wouldn't it be great?
I like that
And
thought.
some people do. Some people have the knack for,
Yeah.
building businesses that are basically ATM machines.
Yes.
I think the ATM machine business is a business. So
It is.
people can literally make, all those fees when you go to one of those, so
That's
somebody
someone's.
went and bought a
That's someone's
vending
payment.
machine and go, I'm in the vending machine business. And literally it sits there doing its thing.
Yeah.
When it breaks, I send a guy out to fix it, and
Yeah.
I just keep, it just trickles money, constant stream of income coming in
Absolutely.
that I don't have to do too much. So
I have a couple of those.
So my thing
Not
is,
ATMs.
and I've lived this concept for 30 plus years, work for yourself and not others.
Yes.
Be responsible for yourself. I've chosen self-employment, and I live and die by that, on that sword.
Well, there's so many benefits to it. You got tax benefits. You got,
Yep.
you know, in a lot of cases, you can make your own schedule.
Profit sharing.
Don't have to wake up at 7:00.
Here's
in
the
the
things
morning.
you don't, or you have to pay for: profit
Yeah,
sharing,
sure.
healthcare,
Healthcare, yeah.
paid holidays, all that stuff.
I mean,
You just don't get them anymore.
There's obviously things there that come along with that,
Right.
but I think the freedom you get on top of it, and if you build it right,
Right. I'm gonna jump
you,
back
you
off
can,
of this.
make the lifestyle you want. At that point.
I think that's important. If anything, if you get nothing from this, you need to, everything you do, you should enjoy it.
Yeah.
The getting out of debt part.
Or better be paying really well to otherwise.
There are
There is
ways.
that.
There are plans and programs you can get out of debt.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to work it. You
Sure.
gotta do the work. You gotta start understanding where how you're paying. We'll get more into that next
Yeah,
week.
we have some programs that I'll be bringing into the mix. It's not for today, but for sure.
Yeah.
That really help you hone in on the debt without you having to kill yourself trying to figure it out.
I guess I'm going to take the phone call.
Yeah,
off, let's pull that down.
So I mean, but I'm also a fan of you understanding it too, because it makes it easier on you. It's less stressful if you really understand what's going on. It's super stressful if you're just basing it on, well, God, I had $1,500 in the bank and now I only have 50.
Right.
That's stressful. Because something always comes up when you get down to the $50 mark. Yeah, and that's where the problem is. So
yeah. So
you just got to plan for all that stuff.
So many things. We've only hit on just a fraction of the things, and I think
the surface. I think
we'll go back into all these things again, maybe with some other new ideas. And
I'm gonna try to bring some visuals.
I'm gonna try and look up. I'm gonna download that Prism app.
I think I am too, actually,
and see how that works
Sure.
out. And maybe it'll talk to my bank. And
usually they're time consuming in the beginning.
Yeah.
To get them set up. But once you get them set up, you launch them periodically, and they should be going out and reaching out, hopefully, if they're a good app. And auto update.
Right. So when I do this, we'll be posting updates throughout the week.
Sure.
And that'll be something that I think,
we got some money saving tips coming up in the future. Some of the stuff I did, because I just refinanced a house, I'm going to be changing some things up that are really going to
cool.
But I want to show numbers, and it'll probably take about 4 to 6 months to get the real numbers to be able to see here's what this does for you. So,
okay.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually super excited about that.
Well, it's 8:00.
Wow.
It is the night sure did fly by.
It sure
And
did.
I hope we answered everybody's questions. If not, please come back next week, and if I'll look more again at these questions, and maybe I'll be able to post them in and
We can respond to the thread even.
yep,
you
reach
know.
out to us and let us know, like, follow, and share, because we like to keep doing this, and it helps when people are out there asking questions and participating.
Absolutely. Appreciate all the
So
participation tonight.
thanks Maria, thanks Donnie, and thanks I want to say Leche. Is it Leche? I will not know this.
You can yell at him if you said it.
You
wrong.
know,
Just let us know.
if I butcher your
Oh!
name, I do apologize. I'm
What's
thinking
that?
it's.
Thank you. The rest of the week should be really good.
Did I get your
Awesome.
name right?
Yeah. Did he butcher it, or did he do okay?
Um, and you are welcome if you'd like to participate via, it's like Zoom through StreamYard. If you'd like to kind of reach in, we would love to have you on the show. So
Hey, I think you got it right.
I think I did get the name
All
right.
right.
So great. That's all we got for tonight. It's 8:01. Y'all have a good night. Try and do something fun over the weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you
Have an
much.
awesome night.
And of course, now I still have to hit a button.